And a good Friday, everybody. Welcome in, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. I'm Chase McCabe's Big Joe Dubin, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. As Joe, we have almost made it to the weekend.
When we get past Wednesday, to me, that's the weekend. So we're here. Weekend starts for us, after the Wednesday show.
Well, I mean, when you have as much fun as we have on a daily basis, it's always the weekend.
We just start gearing down. I mean, after Wednesday, the landing gear starts coming out, and we're ready to land this puppy for the weekend. So basically, we only work 3 days. If that's
honestly, I feel like that we'd be more productive if the weeks, we won't get greedy right away, but if the weeks went to 4 days, and so Friday. Thursday became Friday and Friday became Saturday, and we had 3 days off.
Yeah, exactly. What's weird is that we'll have fun on the show today, but Monday we're gonna be at the Opryland Hotel for the American Football Coaches Association. All the coaches, college coaches, and probably 98% of them are going to be in town. For those that don't know,
Nick Saban's going to be there.
He usually does not go, and you know why?
Because he's got to go to. Well, he's usually coaching.
He's usually playing.
Busy.
He's usually playing in that game. So I think most coaches will be there next weekend over at, well, at least Monday. It starts tomorrow, but running Monday and Tuesday. But it's just so weird because Monday we're on the show. We'll be talking about firings because they'll start trickling out Sunday night. I mean, that's going to happen. Yeah. So the show Monday, it kind of writes itself with all the coaches in the NFL that are going to be let go.
Yeah, and it's a tough day for sure, but I stand by what I've been saying. I think that Mike Vrabel's going to still be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I don't think that's changing.
Well, here's the thing, too, is that, you get the arguments like, well, they fired so-and-so. He's got $7 million. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago that somebody did when Mac Brown left Texas, it's probably longer than this now, left Texas, how it affected like 1,200 families because coaches get fired. They got to move. They do this. I mean, it was just this. So, some of those lower level coaches aren't making a lot of money and they've got family and their goal is to be a coach and get paid. But it's just like, I hate that tired narrative of, well, they got money, they got paid, and it gets so, I mean, Jimbo, yes, he get $40 million to walk away from that stuff. But some of that's just like, oh, come on, man, whatever.
Right. No, I agree. And so, we'll see what happens in the NFL this weekend as some playoff spots are on the line, and so that'll be fun. And obviously, the College Football National Championship on Monday between Michigan and Washington. And I guess the question is, if obviously there's going to be more jobs available in the NFL, is Jim Harbaugh going to raise a trophy up on Monday and take an NFL job on Tuesday?
Well, and that's the thing was like, if Harbaugh goes from Michigan, say, to the Chargers, then all these rumors about Brian Kelly leaving LSU and going to Michigan, well, then you got to plug somebody to LSU and then, plug somebody who took that job and then on and on and on and on and on. So it's going to be crazy. But, I mean, if Harbaugh wins a national championship, would you come back?
No. I would go to the Chargers.
I'm the same way.
And to me, I think that is, for him, I think that's the best job because you got the quarterback. And I think there's some building you got to do. I think that place doesn't have a culture of winning. You got to build a culture of winning, and you obviously got to put some pieces in place, but you got some receivers, you got the quarterback, tweak the O-line, maybe do a few things on defense. To me, that is the best job available for him, for somebody that wants to come in with the quarterback and be able to compete for a Super Bowl relatively quick.
100%. Plus, it's all changing. I mean, we know college coaches, and these guys work literally 365 days a year, probably 12 to 14 hours with the portal and, guys calling coach, hey, what do you got for me? What do you got? What do you got for me? And all that going on. Do you think Harbaugh, I mean, I know you got people to do that, but still some of that stuff runs uphill and you want to be, worried about. That's why the whole Vrabel to Ohio State thing, I laugh about that because once you're in the NFL like that, do you want to go deal with that in college? I mean, Harbaugh's doing it. He probably wants to get out of that, but I wouldn't want to deal with that all the time. Hey, I got this great guy. Well, Team X is paying him $5,000 more. Well, you lost him, and then It goes on and on and on and on. This is with the NFL, with free agency and guys leaving. I mean, you've got more control. At the end of the day, I think it's what all the coaches want is more control.
So you may laugh at this, and people listening are going to laugh at this, but I mean, there are times like if I'm driving, I'll just turn the radio off, and I'm just kind of sit there and I just think, and sometimes I think about, okay, well, what if I got to interview this person, and what would I ask them? If I got one question, what would I ask them? And I thought about, okay, if you and I got Nick Saban on the show, and they tell us like, hey, you got 3 minutes with Coach Saban, and I got to ask one, and you got to ask one. My question would be based on, you've done a lot of winning, and therefore there's a culture of winning at Alabama. But how difficult is it to continue to build that now that you basically have to hit the reset button on your team every year?
By the way, we got a little – this is Chase sitting in the car. Hit it, Dr. Crane. Everybody hurts, man. Oh, right. Good job, Dr. Crane, on that one. Isn't that video he's sitting in a car right in traffic or something like that?
Pretty much.
All right, that's a great question. If you could ask one question to a coach, what would you ask Nick Saban? You had one question, what would you ask him?
Well, I just said that. Like, how difficult is it with the way college football is that you can't build a program over 4 years. You basically have to rebuild every year.
That's what you would ask?
Like how hard that is.
He commented on that yesterday with the Pat McAfee show.
I think he would answer that.
He did. He alluded to saying that, players that don't want to come back, he said, well, a player asked him, hey, Saban, you going to come back next year? He goes, well, you going to be here 4 years? That was his response. So, if you're going to play in that type of ball game, then you also have the complexity of the NIL. So with NIL, it kind of gives that extra, I guess, cushion for players to come back. So that's kind of Saban's little, I guess, bargain for players to come back to him to stay another year.
I don't know. Here's my question, Saban, and I think Rexrode can kind of confirm this, but this has been talked about for a while. When Saban left Michigan State and went to LSU, he sent a plane back from Baton Rouge to wherever Michigan State is, Lansing or whatever it is, and said, hey, assistants, hop on the plane and come down. Rumor has it, you know how many assistants got on the plane to come down?
I don't know.
I heard one, and that was it. Nobody wanted to go with Nick Saban to LSU. Now, if Rexrode's driving, he could pull off the side of the road and text in. But I've heard that from many different people. I'm going to say, what was that like when you sent a plane back to Michigan and it came back with only one assistant on the plane that wanted to work with you? I'm just curious. That's what I'd want to know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, he probably doesn't care, which is fine, but I'd like to hear. He also said, somebody asked him one time, said, what would you do differently? This is like a couple years ago. What would you do differently now that you wish you would have done in 1995? And he said, I wish I would have had the smarts to run the spread offense. And that's what he said. Yeah. Yeah. So,
well,
what would you ask Urban Meyer? I mean, you can go on. We can do this all day. What's one question you can ask? You go to a press conference, you ask your favorite or ask any coach, what would you ask? So, yeah, that would be a fun thing to be able to go around and do that.
I mean, could Urban Meyer be as simple as what's your biggest regret?
Yeah, that could be.
I mean, he could, but it's open-ended, so he could take it wherever he wanted. But,
or the Jacksonville thing, like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, what happened in Jacksonville?
Or Kelly from The Office, like, how dare you? Yeah. How dare you? Yeah, so those would be fun. But anyway, Monday, all that'll start flying out there. But we'll start getting they'll all start trickling out Sunday night because all the national guys and gals be all over it. Yeah,
Rappaport, they'll have it for sure.
Faux show.
But I don't believe that Mike Vrabel will be in that list unless he just goes in after the game and says, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Trade me. Get rid of me.
Yeah, he's not going to.
And I don't think he's doing that.
No.
So
he'll just thank everybody for their time and go. I do hope, though, that they announce the offense on Sunday. I'll be at the game. Hope they announce the offense to come out. Last time they did the defense and nobody cheered.
Yeah,
I think they owe it to Tannehill, and if Tannehill starts, and to Derrick Henry for that.
And you introduced Derek last.
Yeah, and
I would love to. I may try and go Sunday too to hear just for that moment because like when the PA announcer goes and from Alabama at running back, that place is going to go nuts.
Oh, absolutely will.
And they should.
Yeah, and I don't think he's coming back because you know this, Chase. These professional teams have a tendency to way overpay. If the Titans offer him $4 million and the Browns offer him $9 million, where's he going to go? I mean, you don't blame him, right?
No.
So,
but see, I actually don't think that's going to happen.
You think he's coming back?
No, I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah.
I think he should come back, but I don't think he's going to get offered.
Oh, I think I think he will. I absolutely.
I think the best offer he's going to get is going to be from here.
No, I think there's a team that will way overpay for him. Stillman was on yesterday's Stillman show was fantastic, and I listen all the time, and it was next level yesterday. But he had some good things about Derrick Henry to say. But
don't tell him that
he's still in the top 4 or 5 running backs in the league. I mean, I would take Derrick Henry right now if I needed to get a yard. I would still take I don't care behind what offensive line. I'd still take Derrick Henry to get me a yard. So there's a team out there, Cowboys possibly pay him or the Dolphins to overpay for Derrick Henry. It's going to happen.
Well, I just think what I would love is for the Titans to figure out that it's okay to use 2 running backs, and there are effective ways to do it. They've tried, but I don't think they truly know how to do it. And if they could truly figure out how to do that, then it could be awesome with Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears.
Well, I mean, Jerry Jones goes down and says, we're going to sign him, we're going to sign him, we're going to sign him. He'd love to have Derrick Henry on the team.
Yeah.
But what number – you had a good point. What number does Derrick Henry wear at the Cowboys, though?
2.
Okay.
He goes back to 2. Yep. That's what he would do. We'll get back into this later because obviously, he was asked about it and talked about it yesterday of it could be, his last game with the Titans. But we'll get into the Predators coming up next as they fell last night against the Calgary Flames. We'll talk to Bill Wickett from the Nashville Predators and all the things happening with them. They got a big opening coming up at Bridgestone Arena very soon.
Did somebody quit?
No.
Okay.
A facility or
okay.
venue opening.
I thought somebody left over there. Okay.
No. That's all coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by Regal Realty Group, here on a Friday. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Predators were back in action at Bridgestone last night, and unfortunately, not the way they wanted it to go as they fell to the Calgary Flames, but they'll have another chance on Saturday as they hit the road to take on the Dallas Stars, a big Central Division matchup. We say hello now to Bill Wickett, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of the Nashville Predators, and with our partnership here at 102.5 The Game, the guy I talk to probably the most within that partnership. Bill, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Chase. How are you? Joe, I hope all is well.
Yeah, we're fantastic. Hopefully the Predators can go on the road and take care of business against the Dallas Stars, but I know you all are excited about some things coming up at Bridgestone Arena, including the grand opening, you showed it to me last night, of the BetMGM Lounge, which was used to be the Patron Platinum Club, but that is going to be an awesome facility that opens next week.
Yeah, Chase, we put, in partnership with Delaware North, who handles all the food services here at Bridgestone Arena, we put almost $4 million into a renovation of that restaurant space, and it opens Monday morning at 11 o'clock as the BetMGM Sports Lounge and Restaurant. It will be open from 11 to 11 Monday through Friday, whether we have games or events. It's a full-service restaurant, and we're excited to open the doors on it on Monday. We believe Broadway is fantastic. There's lots to do on Broadway. We believe that with all the tourism, with all the people that are coming down to Nashville, there needs to be some more food service options for people on a regular basis. And the entrance is right off of Fifth Avenue between Demonbreun and Broadway. We'll let people know that. It'll be easy to find. And we encourage people to come on starting Monday at 11 o'clock. We're really excited.
Well, and I think what's cool about this is you just mentioned it, that it's 11 to 11 every day regardless of an event, because I know in the past, people would always ask me, hey, the Patron Club, can I go up there? Is it like a special club? And this is a everyday, any event, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anybody can go up there. And it's just like you did with Pete and Terry's, of having that a space available even when there's not an event at Bridgestone Arena. So now it's yet another option when you're downtown to eat and watch games and have a drink. And the TVs, if you can't find a TV in that place, that's your problem, because they got plenty.
Yeah, it's loaded, and some huge screens and a great audio system. That was part of the deal. We built a full kitchen into that space. When it was Patron Platinum Club, we didn't have the full-service kitchen that we have now. The menu will be very extensive with some Southern flares to it. Definitely some Nashville hot will be in there. But we think people will find it to be a very nice compliment to Pete and Terry's, maybe a little bit of an upgrade from a menu standpoint to what's in Pete and Terry's. And, yeah, the great news is you can come and go anytime you want between 11 and 11, whether we have a game or an event or not. There's a way, where the doors are in the facility. We can ticket people. We can check people's tickets to come into the arena from the backside of BetMGM. So if it's a game night and you want to just come watch the game, you can come do that. And if you don't have a ticket, you can stay in BetMGM Sports Lounge and have a great time.
We're talking to Bill Wickett, the Chief Marketing Officer of the Nashville Predators.
Bill, not saying this is a game changer, but the fact that it's open every single day, not just on Preds games, I think that's a fantastic idea to get people inside the building and do that. How exciting has it been to watch the construction and everything, and now that the opening day is just right around the corner?
It's for me anyway, it's no different than building a new house or renovating something at your current home. Like, it's taken a period of months. Maybe it's taken a month or two longer than we had hoped it would take. But now that it's fully taken shape and you get in the space, and Chase mentioned he was in it yesterday, it's fantastic to see the finished product, and we can't wait to get it open.
I think it's fantastic. Also this week, I love the building. It's always so busy. Monster Jam this week, and then Tuesday night, I know a lot of folks are heading out to the Grateful Dead night for the Nashville Predators. How much fun is it putting together with promotions? And like last night, 90s night was fantastic, Bill. So many people in the building dressed in 90s garb. This is always fun for you guys when you do some of these theme nights.
We love to do fun, different things. We combined 90s night last night with UT night, and you guys might remember we had co-branded hats for a bunch of college nights last year, and last night was the first one. The hat says it was in Tennessee orange. It says Preds on the front and has a UT logo on the side. That was a ticket add-on for people. Yesterday happened to be the 25th anniversary of the Vols' 1998 national championship, so we were able to play some highlights in arena. We came out of those highlights, the game presentation guys did with Rocky Top. The officials dropped the puck. The fans keep singing Rocky Top. It's just fun, right? Like, we look for ways to do fun, engaging things in the arena around the hockey game. Obviously, hockey is most important. But we try to create fun opportunities for our fans and for people that might be fringes is the right word, but more casual sports fans, right? And look for ways to get them in the building. And Grateful Dead Night next Tuesday is another way to do that. Last night on the band stage, actually, the lead singer for the band Tonic was able to play in the first intermission. And again, just looking for ways to attract all different types and to get different people in the building whenever we can.
You've been here a few years now, Bill. Bill Wickett is with us from the Nashville Predators. Are you still kind of shocked at some of the people that live in Nashville that all of a sudden are available to you that can show up for a game, whether they're just attending or, like you said, performing on the band stage?
It's just fantastic, right? You never know who's going to show up. On January 2nd, we played Chicago. Jelly Roll happened to come to the game, and he and Wayne D know each other really well. Wayne D's our in-arena host. He and Wayne D were able to do a marriage proposal together.
Yeah.
And a guy popped the question on his, I guess, fiance now, and Jelly Roll was part of that. That doesn't happen in a lot of NHL cities. It doesn't happen in a lot of cities in America, and it's great to be able to just kind of pull those surprises for our fans.
Bill, I know you guys got Monster Jam tonight. There's a lot of dirt you guys got to bring in. Did that all start after the final whistle last night at the hockey game?
Yeah, actually, Joe, Monster Jam's first show is tomorrow at 1.
Oh, okay.
You're absolutely right. We convert, we often convert from hockey to a concert, right? And that means covering the ice, rolling a band stage out, and, hanging all the rigging. What you got to do for Monster Jam or for rodeos and some of those other things is you cover the ice, you put visqueen down, you cover the visqueen, then you bring in tons and tons of dirt on dump trucks, and you got bulldozers in here. They're probably inside the arena right now, kind of finalizing that set. And by tonight they'll be running the trucks and rehearsing for tomorrow's show.
I just think it's fascinating how great your staff is. I know it happens all across the country, in the world, but just how fast your staff can turn it from a hockey rink to a great concert venue to a rodeo to whatever. It always blows my mind how quick it happens.
You mentioned job openings going into the break when Chase mentioned an opening. We have some conversion crew openings, Joe, if you're interested.
You would fire me within the hour because I'd be on my phone tweeting, and I'd be like, hey, it wasn't a good fit, Joe, but thanks. Like, all right, Bill, take care.
We need a digital media specialist to run our website.
Oh, okay. I'll be down there in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Bill.
As long as he's available 9 to 11, every day.
Joe can do anything, Chase. We know that.
Yeah, thanks.
He can multitask. One question that came in on our text line about the BetMGM Lounge from Scott is, do you have to be 21 years or older to enter?
No. It's a full-service restaurant and bar, but, focused on the word restaurant. It is not a brick-and-mortar gambling establishment, right? We don't have that in the state of Tennessee at this point. So it's open to all ages at all times.
Very, very cool. I do have to ask you, there's a football game Monday night that I think you might be interested in, Michigan and Washington.
Blue. That's right. Let's go blue.
Okay,
my alma mater. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I had to bring that up. You think they're going to get it done?
I don't know. I was really worried about the Alabama game because Nick Saban is such a good game preparation guy, especially when he has time to prepare a team for a game. Michigan, found a way at the end of that game. I guess my worry as a Michigan fan in this upcoming game is Michael Penix is so good. He's really mobile, and he throws the ball incredibly well when he's on the run. I don't know if Michigan's seen anybody that good this year, so it'll be a real test. But they haven't lost yet, right? They found a way to win every game, so you got to be encouraged about that.
Bill, you got to watch out though. Michael Penix, he was born in Cookeville, Tennessee, so he's kind of a hometown boy.
He was born in Cookeville, and he played his high school football in my old home of Tampa.
What a small world.
So and before he got to Washington, he played at Indiana. He beat Michigan in 2020 as a young quarterback at Indiana. So the Wolverines have their hands full, that's for sure.
Well, Bill, we appreciate the time today. I know you guys have a watch party tomorrow at Sam's Place in Nippers Corner with tickets. You can give away tickets, get autographed items, all of that. So definitely need to go by and check that out and watch the Predators hopefully get 2 points against the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I don't know that. One last thing before I go. I don't know that anybody would have thought after 39 games that the Preds would have the 9th most wins in the National Hockey League. We lost last night. It was frustrating. It was disappointing. But we have to be really pleased with the team and where it's at this point, because I don't think anybody, especially externally, expected that we would be the first playoff spot in the Western or the first wild card spot in the Western Conference at this point. So let's hope they can get one tomorrow and keep it going.
No doubt, and they've been fun to watch for sure, and we'll see what happens as we enter the second half of the NHL season. Bill, appreciate it as always. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. And, Joe, we'll see you in, you said 20 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Start work on the conversion crew?
Yeah, I'll be down there. I got my boots.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, Bill.
Don't forget the hard hat.
Thank you, Bill. Bill Wickett, the Chief Marketing Officer of the Nashville Predators, joining us. We are always joined by either Sean Henry or another member of the Predators front office staff here on Fridays at 9:15. There is a text I want to address when it comes to Derrick Henry that we will do that next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, broadcasting from the Spring Hill Heating and Cooling Game Nashville studios, keeping your home feeling comfortable all year round.
Chase.
Appreciate Bill Wickett for joining us. Yo.
Got some sad entertainment news.
Yes.
David Soul from Starsky and Hutch passed away this morning, 80 years old.
Oh, wow. That is sad entertainment news.
He had a '1 song too back in the
80
70s.
years old, huh?
80 years old, man. Part of our youth. We all watched Starsky and Hutch back in the day. If you're old like me. Okay.
You're not old. You're seasoned.
I am seasoned, and I got a new job.
That is for sure.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you're going to go lay the dirt down for Gravedigger.
No, I'm conversion
it's a monster
coordinator
truck.
for Bridgestone Arena. Oh, I'll be fired within the hour. That's good. Thanks, Bill, for letting me come down
Dirt
there.
layer.
All right.
Is this one of those things where it's like you come up with a fancy name to cover up what it actually is?
That's what he said. That's what Bill called
Like
it. Conversion
Like
coordinator.
my friend. Well, okay, and that's fine. I like that. My friend in high school got a part-time job working at this lady had a farm, and he would clean the stalls where the horses stayed. And so he called himself a equine waste reclamation engineer. And I said, so you shovel horse bleep?
Oh, man, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, man. It's all how you frame
make
it,
sound
man.
fancy.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So if you lay dirt at Bridgestone Arena, you're a conversion
Exactly.
coordinator. It sounds so good. But it's like when I don't know if you watched The Office or not, when Michael Scott would go to a bar and Ryan told him when he talked to a girl at the bar, always tell him you work in finance. So he told a girl at the bar that he was a bank teller.
Yeah, I remember that one. The Office, a classic show.
Right.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dylan texts in when we were talking about Derrick Henry. I don't think you guys realize how good Derrick Henry is. You always say Derrick has lost a step, but he literally had the worst offensive line this season and is still in the top 5 for rushing yards, only 200 or 300 behind Christian McCaffrey. Could you imagine if he had had an average offensive line? If he was behind the 49ers offensive line, he might have had a 2,000-yard season. Do you want to take that first or me?
He ain't wrong. Yeah, I mean, offensive line is the key. Now you know. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I can tell you that I do know how good Derrick Henry is. I have said that like, hey, you give him a good offensive line, he's probably still up there. When I think people get so caught up in, oh, he's lost a step, and think that is like the worst thing you could ever say, and that it's the end of the world, and it's like, how could you disrespect him? He has lost a step. It happens. He's 30 years old. He's played in the NFL for 8 years now. It's not a bad thing. It happens. It's a part of it.
Right.
Everybody's going to lose a step as they get older. Father Time is undefeated. He's still, having quote unquote lost a step, is one of the best running backs in the league. And everybody knows that. So, like, I think too many times, like, if I say, oh, he's lost a little bit, people get so caught up on that and, like, how could you say that? How could you insult the king? And you know, Dylan, I'm not saying you're saying it like that, but that's not it at all. He has. And because 4 years ago, even with this offensive line, he probably would have done better because he had that twitch. He had that burst.
I
that he
completely
just doesn't quite have anymore.
disagree with you, and I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
Look, man, he bursted out. We've seen him this year already burst out runs on the side. Yeah, an offensive, you got to clear the way for you, right? If that offensive line would have been trash in 18 and 19, he's not doing that. He just needs a little bit of a burst. Any good running back needs that. So this whole thing about, oh, he's lost a step, we don't know that. He can still outrun probably 95% of the National Football League. It's just such a
and that's what I'm
tired
saying.
narrative.
Well, I know, but like my point is, people get so upset if you say that he's lost a step when it's okay that he has. He's still better than just about everybody else.
So you really
That's my
think
point.
he's lost a step?
Yes.
Okay.
He doesn't have the same burst that
How
he
do you
did
know?
2 or 3 years ago.
He's outrun people
Because
this
I
year.
can see it.
He's outrun people this year.
Right. How many 99-yard runs has he had?
Look at that offensive line. I'm
That
telling
used
you,
to-
that's
That
that's
used to
all
be
the blame.
Okay. Joe,
Yes, that's all the blame.
if you go
It's-
and if you put side by side Derrick Henry now, Derrick Henry 3 years ago, and you and find a play that's basically the same play, you can tell that he doesn't quite have that same afterburner speed. He's still, again, I'm praising him. I'm giving him credit. He's still better than just about every other back in the league. There's only a few ahead of him now. But he's lost a little bit of that burst, just a little. It's okay. It happens. He get like Dustin in Hopkinsville. He gets caught on the home run runs now. He didn't before the foot injury. I'd even contend that when he came back from the foot injury, he still had some of that. It's just it comes with age, and like guys are going for it. They finally learn to go for the legs and not try and tackle him up top because you're just going to hang on to him. So, and yes, I'm not exonerating the offensive line by any means. The offensive line is a big part of this, but I will contend that, 27-year-old Derrick Henry, even with this offensive line, probably would have a few more yards than this one does now.
I love you, man, but I'd still take him over almost any other running back in the National Football League because once he gets a burst,
Did
of
I
speed,
say I wouldn't?
he goes. So, yeah, I mean, so to say he loses a step, you automatically go to your mind like, well, this is it. This is over. He's not what he used to be. I'd still take him. I'd still take him over every running back in the National Football League with a decent offensive line.
So
and
would
now, I'm just saying now we know people keep griping about. Now you know how important an offensive line is to. We all know that now. Most of us have known it for years. Now everybody knows how important offensive line is.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I have been saying that they need to re-sign him. Jared did a segment on that yesterday. I've been saying that for 2 months, that they need to bring him back. They're probably not going to, but they need to. There's no reason that they can't. You could offer him a fair deal that I think he would stay on. Now, it's up to him if he's, in ring chase mode and he's like, guys, this is a rebuild. I don't want to be a part of this. I'm 30 years old. Love you. Always be a Titan, yada, yada, yada. And then moves on and goes and chases a ring. Nobody would fault him for that. But if I'm the Titans, if I'm Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel, first thing I'm doing is, hey, Derek, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. This is another tired narrative. I want to go. If DeAndre Hopkins really wanted to win a Super Bowl, and what about the money? He would not come to Nashville. If Derrick Henry tells you he wants to go for a ring and signs with the Carolina Panthers, it's about the money. I mean, so let's just put that aside. Wherever a guy wants to go, let him go, but don't add the part of, well, I think we can really do something here. I mean, we all knew this back in August that Tennessee Titans were not going to go to we're not going to even make the playoffs, and it's showing out right now, much less win the Super Bowl. So when a guy says, I want to win a ring, and he goes to the Panthers, he's not serious. He'll take him it's a joke. If DeAndre Hopkins wanted to win the Super Bowl, he would have signed for the Kansas City Chiefs at $2 million a year and try to get to the better chance there than here. So, but as far as Derrick Henry, I don't fault him. Somebody's going to overpay him. I'm telling you right now, it happens in every single sport. Somebody gets overpaid, and they're going to overpay, and which is fine. Good for Derrick Henry. And if he signs with the Chiefs or the Ravens or the Cowboys or the Dolphins, that's all well because those teams have a better chance of winning the ring than the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans ain't winning a ring here for a long time, and we know that.
Did the Titans overpay DeAndre Hopkins?
I
don't think they did.
No,
I think he got fair market.
But don't tell me
them.
you're chasing a ring. I mean, I don't know if he came out and said that.
I
or
think
not,
he came here because of Vrabel.
That's fine. He came here because we got the most money. That's where he came
too,
here.
But I think Vrabel had something to do with it. I think there was familiarity. I think the offense and Tim Kelly. That's another familiarity.
Who else pursued him? Patriots and the Titans, right? Was that it?
Yeah,
2 teams?
I think there were a couple of the Chiefs were mentioned, but I don't know how.
But they were going to pay him far less than he made here.
Right.
So I don't fault DeAndre Hopkins. Just don't give me the garbage like I'm going to come here and try to win a ring. That's important to me when you sign with a team that has no chance of making the playoffs. Just stop it.
615-737-1025. A lot of you weighing in. Will says Chase is more defensive on the Henry not declining take than the last 50 takes by Joe. Weird. I don't know what that means.
I'm always been on the Henry bandwagon. Always. I think he's.
I mean, I am too. I just said he lost a step. Everybody's coming at me.
But that's the problem. When you say you lost, people are like, well, he's done. You know, when I think of losing a step.
I'm not saying that he's done. I'm just saying he's lost a little bit of the burst.
I always think about when Emmitt Smith went from the Cowboys to the Cardinals. Like, well, he's lost a little bit. Yeah, and he still got over 1,000 yards with with an awful team for the Cardinals.
Right. You can lose a little bit and still be really good.
But people don't realize that.
And that's my point. That's
Yes.
why I'm defending this and saying, like, it's okay. We all lose a little bit. Father Time is undefeated. That is the brass tacks of life, that Father Time is undefeated. Dave, hang on the line. We'll get to your call coming up next.
Big
More of
D.
your calls on Derrick Henry and the Titans and anything else you want to weigh in on here on the Chase and Big Joe Show. You're always welcome. Monday night, tune in at 7 o'clock on 102.5. The game is Washington and Michigan face off the college football playoff national championship game only on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. It's also on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Empowerment Tractor and Equipment.
from both the team perspective and your perspective in the offseason, but is there a part of you, is there a large part of you that would like to play your entire career in Tennessee Titans?
I mean, any player would love to play for the organization and finish out their career, you know, as long as they can. But like you said, it's the business side and all those type of things that go on, and I understand that. So we'll just see how it shakes out during the offseason.
Derrick Henry yesterday when talking to the media. Hey, look, he knows. Jason Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He knows how this works. I kind of got the vibe there. He's probably thinking, I'm gone. But you never know. I've seen crazier things happen.
We have seen crazier things happen.
Let's go to the phones. Dave has been waiting patiently on Derrick Henry. Dave, welcome in.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I really enjoy listening to you.
Thank you.
Derrick Henry, he's got to stay with us because he's a Titan, and we just need to get somebody, a good line coach in there. Our line has gotten worse every game, and we just need somebody to teach them. I mean, these guys wasn't terrible, you know, on their teams from college, so, you know, they're getting worse with us now, you know. So I just think we need to upgrade that with a good coach, and I know we got one last year. Maybe bring old Muchak back or something, but we need to get a good coach there. And please tell the Predators, please trade Saras, because every time I get ready to go to game, he gives up 6 goals. It's so sad.
Chaser, do that. Chase has a connection down there. He could do things.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate
Thanks,
the
Dave.
call.
I mean, Dave doesn't realize that you are the boss man and that you can make things happen. So if you could do that for Dave today, appreciate it.
Let me just call Trotzy up. And, no, I don't think trading Saros is the answer there at all. Yeah, and here's the thing on the offensive line. I think it's a combination. I mean, coaching is certainly – like when you watch these guys, you can probably tell more than I could that, you know, they need some work on technique, which is coaching, but at the same time, it's also talent.
Exactly.
You can't coach talent.
Right. I mean, why did the Eagles let Dillard go?
Yeah, it's pretty clear now.
Yeah.
He wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are all free agents, you know, Brunskill and, heck, I don't know who else that, you know, they've got on this team, free agent offensive line. There's a reason they're not on another team, you know, playing right now when they get picked up off the street. That's just the way it is. It's not a knock on them. It's just the way it is. But, yeah, I mean, eventually, I mean, it's just that's why it's so crucial with that offensive line. You know, you go back to what it was in 19 with Lewan and Conklin and Roger Saffold and Nate Davis and Ben Jones. I mean, that was a solid group that really played well together and meshed together. I mean, I tell you, I mean, I never played offensive line in the National Football League, but it's difficult in high school. I mean, it's difficult in college. So guys stunting. I mean, these athletes on the defensive side of the football are fantastic now. But at the end of the day, as Bear Bryant always said, it comes down to 2 things, Chase.
Blocking and tackling.
Blocking and tackling. You got to block the guy. But there's no excuses after that. So, you know, that's the thing. Work on this offensive line, get it better, get it good, and then, you know, go from there. Look at the Cowboys. Didn't like for 3 straight years they drafted offensive linemen in the first round, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, and I mean, look what they did. I mean, they've had one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League.
Yeah, exactly
they've
right.
addressed it.
Yep.
They've spent capital on it, and the problem is so did the Titans, but they picked wrong.
You're right.
Now I think Skoronski's going to be fine. You know, like Jared gives Skoronski a hard time, and I think he's going to be okay. I like what I see. You know, now I disagree with the decision not to try him at left tackle because based on what they've had this year, the options that they've had, like what is it going to hurt? But, you know, I think with the right coaching, right development, he'll be fine. I am curious, you know, if Vrabel is back, which I believe he will be, what changes he makes to the coaching staff. He made quite a bit last year on the offensive side. I think the defense is going to need some addressing. I kind of feel like Shane Bowen could be gone.
Hold up. Will you go coach with Mike Vrabel for 1 year knowing this is it? I'm not going to, I mean, unless you're coaching, you know, in D2 somewhere and you get a shot to coach NFL, but are you going to go with the coach who's got 1 year to get it done? I'm not. I mean, he called me a loser and not having any faith, but I'm not doing it. If I know that Chase McCabe is 1 year as the head coach for the Tennessee Titans and you say, hey, man, I need your offensive line coach, am I going to uproot my family and do that for 1 year? I mean, I know there are coaches who will do. I get it.
Sure.
But if there's a
Well, I'm
coach,
the get back coach. So.
if there's a coach that's 50-50, I'm not doing it, man. I'm not taking that chance.
Except
Now,
I'm scared.
if
I'd
Mike
be like-
Vrabel goes to the Patriots, hell yeah, I'm going with him. That's a 5-year deal or whatever it
Sure.
can be. I'm going with him.
Yeah, now I'd be like, Coach, get back, and he'd turn around and punch me. So that'd probably happen. But
Well, then you get a lawsuit, and then
Yeah,
you're
there you
calling Blair Durham, and you're good.
and then I'm co-owner of the Titans.
Then you're conversion coordinator at Nissan Stadium.
There you go.
It all goes full circle for you.
We'll continue the Titans discussion with our man Chris Sanders coming up next here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game, hour number 2 here on this Friday. Continuing the discussion, the Titans, their final game of the season, and then all the offseason talk can begin. There's a national championship game. It's a big football weekend for sure, and to discuss that, we bring in forever Titans wide receiver, the one and only Chris Sanders. Chris, good morning. How are you?
Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. How are you?
What's going on, Superstar? Y'all doing all right?
Doing fantastic. What's new and exciting with you, my friend?
Man, I'm just taking it easy. Just got done eating some cornbread and grits.
Nice. That actually sounds really good.
How was y'all breaking everything?
Oh, it was fantastic. Ready to take 2024 by storm. So
well, let's go make it happen, man. Let's make it happen.
What do you think is going through the minds of guys like Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry and obviously others on that roster that, while anything can happen, probably know that when they run out on that field at Nissan Stadium on Sunday, it's probably going to be the last time as a Titan?
Yeah, I think for Ryan Tannehill, I mean, it's going to be tough for him, but I think it's really going to hit Derrick Henry the most because you put so much into a franchise. I mean, you're probably one of the best running backs to ever come out, for the Tennessee Titans. And, it's going to be tough for him because you gave so much, you bled on the field, you're the face of the franchise. So if this is Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan, I think it's going to hit him really, really hard. I think when he comes out of the tunnel, I think that's really when it's going to hit him to say, you know what, this may be my last time, it might not. But at the end of the day, Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry know that it's a business.
Yeah, and the thing that I guess, even now, I don't always get, like if I'm looking at the Titans from the perspective of Rand Carthon and Mike Vrabel, whether they want to publicly admit it or not, they're in a rebuild. And go ahead.
Oh, no, they are in a rebuild, and I think that they're going to have to rebuild so many things, Chase. I mean, you got the offensive line you're going to have to rebuild. You got to get some receivers. I know they got, Hop, but then also you got a secondary that's consistently depleted. Guys are, out of the lineup. You got Caleb Farley. You got guys that can't stay healthy. So there's a lot of things that they got to do, and then also you got your coaching staff. I know he's got to get some different coaches in here to develop these players. So they got a big job, man. They're rebuilding, but they got to rebuild the whole thing from top to bottom.
Yeah, but my thing is, if you're going to do that, one of the biggest parts of a team is the culture and how you do things. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want a guy like Derrick Henry to be a part of that? Now, obviously, he has to want it too. If he's like, guys, I've had a great 8 years here, but I got aspirations of winning a ring. We're not going to do that here in the next few years.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to take my talents elsewhere. Everybody would understand. Nobody would hold that against him. But, if he does want to stay and be a part of this, I think it's something that the Titans should look at, and I just don't feel like they're going to.
I don't think they're going to because if you look at their record, I mean, they have a losing record with Derrick Henry. I mean, that's where the situation gets kind of iffy. If they had a winning record and he had a great season like he did last year, went to the Pro Bowl, then it's great. But you're paying him a lot of money and they're still losing. So I think that on the business side, I think you're going to have to get some more backs. I mean, I know they got Tyjae Spears and some other guys, but you're going to have to get some more guys here that can complement Tyjae Spears. Because if Derrick Henry's gone, then Tyjae Spears has to be a guy, not just a third down guy. So at the end of the day, Derrick Henry understands that it's a business. Yeah, it hurts. Yes, even when I got cut. I'm at the bowling alley, and I look up at about to get ready to get my Barney Rubble on, get ready to bowl a strike, and I look up at the thing, and it says Chris Sanders get cut. I'm like, dang, I didn't even get a text. I didn't get a love letter, nothing. I just had to understand that it was an actual business.
Sorry about that, man. How did you bowl that day?
Man, I just threw the ball down and just left, man. I left shoes and balls and everything because I was so hurt. Because, when you're Little League, you've never gotten cut. I never got cut in high school or elementary. Then all of a sudden in the pros you get cut. I just threw the ball down and somebody got a free ball and some shoes and a free, Frosty. Something. I was mad.
Did you call this is bizarre. Did your agent call you and say, hey, my bad, Chris?
No, nobody called me. I looked up. It says breaking news, wide receiver Chris Sanders gets cut from the Titans. I'm like, wait, is that me? So I had to deal with that. But you know what? It's a business. I understood it. And, it all worked out. I went to Cleveland and I came back with the Titans and retired as a Titan. So it worked out immediately.
Did you call Fisher and he's like, hello, Domino's?
No, he said, "Oh, Chris, you didn't run that slant right. I'm gonna have to let you go. You didn't buy me no McDonald's." you got me a biggie bag from Wendy's, so I got to let you go.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that. That's
good.
awful.
Yeah, it's all good. But it's a business, man. I was hurt for a second, and, it's all good. So it all works out. I had 8 great years with the Tennessee Titans, so it all worked out.
Let me ask you this on this Sunday, and here's why I think the Titans win, because there's a lot of guys on this football team who aren't guaranteed spots around the league next year. I think we'll see some guys on Sunday play the best football of their lives because their future is uncertain. I'm talking about guys that that signed midseason with the Titans, or guys have the 1-year deal, because basically, Chris, there's nothing to play for. You can win the game, but also you got stuff to put on tape on Sunday.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you're auditioning for not just maybe for the Tennessee Titans team, you're auditioning for so many other teams. So you better believe if you want to stay in this league, you got to make sure you get tape. I mean, look at the 3rd and 4th and 5th string or 4th stringers. They're going to see a lot of playing time. So now when if you play well and you do some great things, you got Mike Vrabel if he's here, or Rand Carlton if he's here. They go into the draft and they say, okay, you know what? Let's go get a wide receiver, or let's go get a defense end. But they remember how good you played in that last game. They say, like, you know what? We might not go up and get somebody in the 2nd round or get somebody in the 3rd round because this guy played so well at the end of the season.
Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, is with us. And do you think that guys, like, even at this age, being professionals, Joe kind of alluded to it, like, do you really want to play spoiler, or do you even think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really think about it. I mean, just going to go out there and play hard because, Jacksonville's going to come out with their hair on fire because they have a chance to make the playoffs. You don't worry about spoiler. You just want to go out there and play the game. Yeah, you want to hit them in the mouth, and I just want to beat them because I just don't like the Jaguars. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I like their uniforms. I don't like the way Lawrence. I mean, that's the kind of mindset that I have. I want to literally beat those guys. But at the end of the day, you just go out there and play, football and go out there and try to win the game.
We're talking to Forever Titans. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. No, I mean, there's. Hey, Chase Harry, man, good to see you. Chris, what'd you bowl on that day? Got to know that, man. No, I'm kidding.
My highest bowl game is 252.
That's not bad.
Man, I'm like Ray Charles. I'm make it do what it do, baby. Come on. Come on, man. I'll make it do what it do.
Oh, my goodness with that. With the I always laugh, the last game of the year, I always go back, and this always makes me laugh. For Titans fans, remember this. The game at the end of the 0-1 season, y'all playing the Bengals, and the fight on the bench between Perry Phoenix and
he was crazy.
And Deron Jenkins over there like that. I mean, what's this last week been like, you think, in that locker room when, it's over on Sunday?
I don't think a lot of guys – I know little guys are upset on the field, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mess with the relationships. There's a lot of locker rooms where I was where we didn't go to the playoffs, but we still had that enthusiasm. We still had fun. We still enjoyed each other. Yeah, we weren't going to the playoffs, but at the end of the day, you just got to be a professional and say, you know what, even though we're not going to the playoffs, I still have a job to do. I still got to practice. I still got to watch film. I still got to listen to the coaches, and then I got to go out there and play the game, and that's how you handle it as a professional.
Talking to Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver. What do you think happens Monday night between Michigan and Washington?
Oh, I'm going with Michigan, man. They some dogs now. This is the second time I watched Michigan, and they're just playing at a different level. And you just look and listen to their players. They're talking with a lot of confidence. They're expecting to win. I mean, I didn't think they were going to be Alabama because I didn't think they had the top end speed at different positions. But I watched the head coach Harbaugh. I watched their running backs. I watched their linebackers. I watched their wide receivers. They just have a sense of confidence. I know Washington acts like they got confidence. They're a finesse team, but you got Michigan that's going to run through your mustache and dare you to stop them. That's why I like the Michigan Wolverines or that team up north.
I don't know how much you've watched Michael Penix, the quarterback for Washington,
he's good.
but he's fun, man.
He is. He's smart in the pocket, and I love what he does, how he moves so genuinely. When I say genuinely, he just kind of switches and throws the ball with a lefty and is throwing dimes, not quarters, but he's throwing dimes. I love what he does.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday night. I figured you'd go for the Big Ten anyway, so that's
Big Ten's mistake.
That's how you roll, but that's okay, man.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate y'all.
But hey, congratulations, man, on your new marriage, buddy.
Yes, man. That's my sweetie pie. If she's listening right now, I love that beautiful, sexy thing. She's just beautiful, man. We're going through a little adversity right now, but I love that woman. I cherish that woman, and I'm going to honor that woman every freaking minute of the day. I love that woman.
Those are some life goals right there.
I'm going to tell you something. That is let me tell you, Faith, if you're listening, I want the world to know how much I love you. I want the world to know that you're my queen. I love you, and you are a beautiful, beautiful gift that God has given me. Thank you.
All right, that's good.
Shoot.
That's life goals right there.
Chris Sanders.
Appreciate it.
Chris Sanders after hours here on 102.5 The Game.
I gotta go drink my Pedialyte. Got to talk to you later.
See you, Chris. Have a good weekend.
Love you guys. Bye.
Oh
You too.
man,
Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, joining us here on the show.
Yeah,
and you can catch Chris, Derek Mason, and Jared Stillman at Teddy's Tavern this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30. Our NFL pregame show, the final one of the year. They'll break down the Titans' Week 18 matchup against the Jags and give you the latest updates before the game. NFL pregame is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Beast Unleashed.
Do you remember
Joe.
that game? The Titans fans remember that game when they got in a fight on the sidelines because they both wanted the heated seat?
I think I do.
I mean, I was there.
2001?
I saw it. I mean, I had my mom's boss gave us tickets, and I was like 8 rows up, and we're all watching the two Titans fight, Perry Phoenix and Deron Jenkins, over a heated seat. I mean, the season was a disaster anyway, but it was a game that was postponed because of 9/11, so they played it in January. It was like 38 degrees. Yeah. It was raining. There was maybe 10,000 people in the stadium. It was awful, and those two boneheads are fighting over a heated seat on the bench. Just it's a top 5 all time. I know it's a top 5 all time Titan moment for me because just seeing that happen and like, am I really watching two guys fight over? Because we didn't know what the fight was about, and then we ended up finding out that it was a fight over the heated seat. I guess I'd fight too if I wanted a heated seat.
I mean, I feel like you and I would fight over a heated seat,
right? If our season's gone straight to you know where, absolutely we would.
Yeah.
I got a thing for you.
Well,
go ahead.
Okay.
Well, they've come out with the top 10 in lieu of the game Monday night, right? Which you can hear right here on 102.5 The Game. They've come out with the top 10 college football games of 2023. And I'll see if you can remember. Some of them are really, really good. So the top 10 football games of the college football season.
I'm going to be terrible at this, but okay.
I got it for you, brother.
All right. We'll do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, presented by Regal Realty Group, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Hey, guys, Big Joe here. And you know I love talking about medical house calls. It's Middle Tennessee's best health care in the comfort of your own home. Yes, I'm talking about medical house calls where the nearest clinic is your home. Now, the website is simple, medicalhousecalls.com. No more heading to an urgent care. No more sitting in a waiting room. No more driving across town to your doctor's office. Board-certified nurse practitioners and physician's assistants come to you. And look, don't take my word. Just read the numerous, fantastic reviews that Medical House Calls has gotten. It truly is a game changer. And in fact, Chuck McDowell was a client. He loved the service so much, he bought the company. And for years and years, I'd leave work early in the middle of the day to check on my mom when she was sick. Now you can have Medical House Calls check in on your loved ones to make sure everything is going okay. They're wonderful. Visit the website today, medicalhousecalls.com.
Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Some Sammy Hagar coming back. He'll be coming to town here soon. Looking forward to that. Right now, though, we have your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Belmont Bruins take on Drake at the Curb Event Center this Sunday, January 7th. Caller number 4 will win those 4-pack of tickets to see Belmont and Drake at the Curb Event Center, the beautiful Curb Event Center, 615-737-1025, and you can win those tickets.
Look, I'm not a betting man, but I think Belmont can. I think 5 Belmont players could beat 1 Drake. I think, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
He's a great singer, but I don't think
he keeps canceling shows, so I don't
maybe
know.
He's trying to get in shape.
Could be.
Maybe he's cloned
He's
himself.
a fan of like 7 teams. So.
he's like the Kenny Chesney of rap music. He does that. Hey, real quick, and I'm gonna get you and Dr. Crane's opinion on this. I saw something. I'm gonna get to the top 10 football games. This list that came out from this one website. But let me ask you this, Chase. You love high school football, and so does Dr. Crane. Somebody proposed this. How about one high school game per season between 2 big rivals happen at noon on a Friday? Would that not be very cool?
Sold.
So say like Brentwood and Ravenwood play at noon on a Friday, or Oakland and Riverdale at noon on a Friday. It'll never happen. It'll never happen, but my goodness. Would that not be very cool to have a game at noon on a Friday?
Yeah, I think it'd be
you
cool.
would have kids come to that football game who would never go to a football game ever. They would not go on a Friday. They wouldn't do it. And they're like, hey, everybody in school, we're going to go to the game today at noon. This game is being played. I think it's a fantastic idea.
I think we should look into that, make that happen.
Let all the kids out by like 10 a.m. after their first period classes. Let them get all painted up, get the student section all riled. I would love it. Have a DJ come out one day, have some taco trucks come out, have a big old
have
jamboree.
a radio show come out.
I think that's a great idea.
Now,
Chase.
it'll never happen because schools don't have. I mean, not the schools, but the superintendents, people making the big decisions, don't have the stones to do that. But for one day, like, all right, kids, this Friday we're playing whomever at noon. And we're going to have a big party. Come beforehand. We'll all get together. Be food trucks. Yada yada.
You're talking football.
Football.
Because like
you can do basketball, but you could
basketball. I feel like basketball is probably very doable.
Yeah.
Like you could football. They're going to go, well, what about the gate? Like, are we going to miss out on the gate? Here's the thing: if your kid's playing, you're a parent, you're going to tell your employer, hey, I'm taking the day. I'm going to watch my kid play football.
Right.
I think there are a lot of good opportunities there.
Yeah.
And especially like if you're, doing this, and I know Metro would be awesome, but you get some businesses involved, like what Nick was just saying, get some food trucks out there. There's a lot of possibilities.
I think it would be great. I mean, you build it up for months and months. We'll tell you, week 6 that Brentwood will play Ravenwood at noon or whatever school it is. I'm just spitballing schools out there. Kirkwood versus Clarksville High, whatever. And, hey, at noon on Friday, we're doing this week 7, and a big day, there's no school. You got to come to school. I mean, you still got to go to the first 2 periods or whatever. You got to come to school. And then we're playing at noon. I don't know. It would just take it to another level. Pep rally and everything. Tailgating with the kids out there. It would be just an amazing camaraderie kind of event for everybody at that school. Invite the other school over to tailgate and just make it a fun day. But it'll,
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think about when I was in high school that, like, homecoming, the day of homecoming, we didn't do anything. We had the senior parade. Like, we had a giant pep rally. I mean, you went to class, but you weren't doing anything.
Our man Bart Barker out in Wilson County's like hard pass. Hard pass. He works for the schools. Hard pass. Sorry, Bart. We're gonna make it happen in Wilson County now. We're gonna do Lebanon versus Wilson Central. Yeah, it's gonna happen now, Bart. That way you have to go to work early on that Friday. We're gonna make this happen somehow, some way.
I'd love it. I mean, we know enough people between the two of us.
We'll get our main man Greg Wyant down at Siegel High School in Murfreesboro. We'll talk to him, get him on board. He's our kind of our springboard for. We bounce everything off him anyway, so might as well. Yeah. Sorry, Bart. But
I could see like Will Hester and Ravenwood. something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're throwing it out there. It's up to them now to make it happen. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we're gonna happen. All right, sorry, Bart, but I think it's what Bart's talking about anyway. So
before we get to that, real quick, we're going to talk to Shea Ralph coming up in a few minutes, head coach of the Vanderbilt women's team. They are off to a great start. Beat Mississippi State last night, so looking forward to that conversation. All right, Joe.
And then, there's a big article on ESPN today how ESPN and NCAA women's have come together this huge deal for more coverage and everything else that's happening.
Oh, cool.
So 8-year NCAA deal with ESPN between women's hoops and ESPN. All right, here we go, Chase. The top 10 games this year. Number 10, Missouri, Kansas State. Missouri kicks a 61-yard field goal to beat Kansas State. Do you remember that game?
Yep. That's a good one.
Pretty good game.
That was early in the season.
It was. Yeah. Number 9, Texas over Alabama.
I thought that might be higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Number 8, Ohio State beats Notre Dame there in the last second.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They beat them 17-14. That's the lowest scoring game on the list. Number 7 was a fantastic game. North Carolina beat Duke in 2 overtimes.
Yep, that was a fun one.
They had a Duke went for the 2, and they had 2, and UNC's defense stopped them right there. A game that we talked about, which was just chaotic, which I thought might be a little bit higher. Ole Miss 55, LSU 49.
Yes, very good one.
That was it. Jaden Daniels was fantastic in that game. But yeah, there we go.
Season-defining game.
Yes, it was. Number 5, Michigan over Ohio State, 30-24.
Yep, that belongs on the list.
A game I thought would have been number 1, but it's not. It's number 4. Washington regular season over Oregon, 36-33.
Yeah, that really could. See, now I'm curious of what is number 1.
Well, Bo Nix and Michael Penix threw for combined 640 yards and 6 touchdowns in that game.
Jeez.
5 different skill players went over 100 yards rushing, receiving. Number 5, number 3, Oklahoma over Texas.
Okay, yeah.
Number 2, which I completely disagree with, Colorado beating TCU 45-42.
Is that just Deion?
Yeah, it is. That's all it is. And that's when everything started going. And the next week, everybody show up at their games. Number 1, the top football cultural game of 2023 is, and I thought it would be number 2, but it's number 1, Alabama over Auburn.
Ooh, well, yeah, just the way it ended.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they called it the Grave Digger. Instant nickname, the Grave Digger.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We define how great a football game is based really on the ending, if you think about it.
Sure, yeah.
You know, it's like it's not necessarily – like people call the Music City Miracle game like maybe the greatest Titans game of all time. The game itself was pretty boring.
It was awful. It
was not a great game. It was just the ending.
You're exactly right. I like this descriptions. Facing 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe stood in the pocket long enough to bake Christmas cookies and eventually found Isaiah Bond in the back corner of the end zone. Nick Saban stressed that Alabama practices that play. He admitted that it takes a bit of luck for it to always work out. How do you practice that play? I don't understand. Because if Auburn had any kind of a pass rush, Milroe's not getting that pass off at all. So I don't know how you just have guys run back and forth, run sprints in the end zone back and forth. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It worked in Alabama. So according to Saturday Football Newsletter, that's the number 1 college football game of the year.
Okay.
Not bad.
Well, I like it. That's good. Good little list there.
It is a good little list, Chase. Thanks.
We'll see if we add to that list Monday night between Washington and Michigan. Coming up next, the Vanderbilt women's basketball team, they are off to a hot start. They got their first SEC win of the year last night at Mississippi State. Shea Ralph, their head coach, is going to join us next on the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Spring Hill Heating and Cooling Game Nashville studios on this Friday. One of the hottest teams in the area right now is the Vanderbilt women's basketball team. They improved to 14-1 on the season last night with a 71-66 victory over Mississippi State to open SEC play. We bring in their head coach now, Shea Ralph. She's on the line with us. Coach, congratulations. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much. I'm great. I'm happy to be here with you guys today.
Well, I know you're even happier after your team's performance last night, and you started the game setting the tone, as they say, with 11-4 run. How important was that?
Well, it was one of our keys to the game was to make sure that we did do that, especially on the road, playing in a tough environment. Credit to Mississippi State. They've been a great team for a long time. They played hard, and I thought they played well. But for us, it's about relentless consistency, and we try to do that and talk about that and make that choice every day. So I was really proud of our team for a bunch of different reasons, and I have been really proud of them throughout the course of the year. We've gone through adversity. We've certainly had our ups and downs, but we continue to fight, and that's what I want us to be known for, not just this year, but as a program. I want everyone to know, and when they come watch us play, they're going to see a group of kids that's going to fight hard for each other, fight hard for Vanderbilt, and work really hard to come out with a great result.
You know, when I see that, you know, every player that played last night scored in the victory, that's something that really stands out to me, and I know that's happened 2 straight games now, because that means that everybody is contributing, and I know that's what you're looking for from your club.
Certainly. When you play at this level and coach at this level for a really long time, you know when you're trying to accomplish something great as a team, it's really, really hard to do that with just 1 or 2 players that do everything. Right. So one of the things that we've tried to do here as we've continued to build our program is bring in pieces. And it's not necessarily about talent and skill. That's not it. You got to have a certain level of that, but it has to be the right people. So I think what we're starting to see in the foundation of our program and in the culture, when you see everyone contribute to a win like we had last night on the road, you start to understand we're going somewhere special because they all believe in themselves, they believe in each other, and they know they can come in and have a positive impact on the game. So, again, I think it says a lot about where we're headed, but I was just really happy for our team that we came out with a result that validated their hard work.
Shea Ralph is with us, head coach of the Vanderbilt women's basketball team. How special was it to see Ayanna Moore have a 29-point game? I know she's come back from an ACL injury, but she really stepped it up last night.
Man, she did, right? It was fun to watch her play last night. And when Ayanna got hurt last year, we were telling her, our staff was telling her throughout the course of the year, she had been practicing like a pro. I mean, she was really at the top of her game, and unless you've been through an injury like that as an athlete, and I've had my fair share, so I do know what it feels like, you just really never understand how hard it is, the toughness that you have to come back. And a lot of people never talk about when you get back out on the court. You feel like a fish out of water. They talk about the rehab process, but when you get back out on the court, there's still a process to becoming the player, not even that you used to be, the new player that you're going to become. And for Ayanna, it's been a constant, it's not been linear. It's constant ups and downs. What I've noticed from her recently, though, is that she's put in a ton of work on her own. She's in the gym. She's watching film. She's working with her teammates. She's communicating more. She's doing all the little things that she has control over. And yesterday was a huge step forward for her, I think, for confidence, but also for our team, because they're starting to see, hey, if we want to be great, that's a daily choice. We got to put in the work. If we want to be great, we can choose success by how we create our daily habits. And Ayanna's a perfect example of that. I was really happy for her.
Love it. Coach, I want to ask you this, because we had Kermit Davis was on our show a long time ago, and we talked about some big wins in his career, and he said, you know what, I can't remember the big ones, but I remember the losses. You guys are off to a great start. Does that NC State game, what did you learn about your team in that game? Because you've only got one loss, and that's probably one that you remember quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. It's one of the reasons we talk about setting the tone. That was a game on the road. We were really excited about it, and we let them, especially early on, dictate the pace of the game. And when we finally got our feet back under us, we were competitive, and we ran out of time. So I think what we learned about ourselves is exactly what we talked about in the beginning of this conversation, was having relentless consistency, not about the result. It's never going to be about the result, but about the process of how we approach every day, every practice, every game, and being the best versions of ourselves as players, as people, day in and day out. We'll always give ourselves a chance. We'll always give ourselves a chance if we can do that.
I think it's great. It's funny, I look why people want to play in the SEC. I look at your upcoming schedule: Florida, Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee. I mean, it's that to me. Some people, coach, would like, well, that's a lot. But I think if you're a competitor and you're a great athlete and you like to compete, this is perfect. I mean, you love these games.
You do love them, and you're exactly right. You said exactly the right. If you are a competitor, you live for these games. You live for this moment, and the reality is, if you want to be a championship team, if you want to win championships, you're going to have to run through the SEC anyway. You're going to have to come through us anyway. So I love being able to measure ourselves day in and day out. Where are we? How much better have we gotten since the last time we took the court? How much better do we need to get to make sure that we're competitive, not only in our conference, but in the NCAA tournament?
Coach, yesterday, I know you're busy. You had the game last night, but the announcement that the NCAA and ESPN have agreed to really give more to women's sports, including basketball, it just keeps showing how great the sport is and the growth of this sport.
It does, and I'm so honored to be a part of this time right now in women's basketball. I'm honored to be a coach. I was honored to play. My mother played college basketball. So I do understand the struggles that we've gone through for equity, and this is just the beginning. What I love about it is that our sport is fun to watch. The players are getting better. The teams are getting better. The coaching is amazing. There's parity. Now we're getting exposure. I would love for people to come out and witness all the hard work that these kids put in, not only on TV, but come to the gym, come to Memorial, come on Sunday, and see what we're about, see what our team looks like. I guarantee you'll have a great time. But to your point, it is awesome to see that. I know we have a long way to go, but to be a part of positive change is always a good thing.
Yeah, 1 o'clock on Sunday at Memorial Gym against Florida, the second SEC game of the year. And the thing that is interesting to me about this schedule is every 2 or 3 nights y'all are on the court playing a game. Do you like that as a coach, or do you wish you had a little more time to get in the practice gym and work on some things?
No, listen, we've been together for 7 months. We want to play. we want to play. I love practice. Don't get me wrong. I do love practice, and practice is really important. But at this point in the year, I want to play. I want to make sure that we get on the court, that we get those game reps in. That we're going up against these teams in the SEC where we find out what are we great at right now. Our weaknesses get exposed because we need to buckle those down if we're going to be competitive towards the end of the season. And I know those are our goals. We want to be competitive in our conference. We want to make the NCAA tournament and be competitive in the tournament. And the only way you find that out is consistently playing against great competition. And thankfully, we are in the SEC. We get to do that, like you said, every 3 days. And then today we're going to go back, watch some film, get back out on the practice court, fix some things that went wrong yesterday, and hopefully we'll be a little bit better on Sunday.
When you have success, especially early on at 14-1 in the season, it's, especially for young kids, it can go to your head a little bit. But I don't feel like that's a problem with your team. So how do you balance allowing them to enjoy the success, but also put it out of their mind and focus on what's next?
It's funny. I'm laughing because, the team chuckles with me. I tell them we want to celebrate wins, and
sure.
And that's not just the result of games, wins every day, wins in the classroom. Our team did a great job. We had a 3.4 overall GPA as a team in the fall semester, which was amazing. Wins in the community, wins in practice, but I also want them to understand there's always areas and room for improvement. So yeah, we celebrated last night because we should. That was a fun game. We came out with a really hard-fought win on the road, but there were moments in that game where we almost gave it away, and it's important that we learn from those moments. So yes, we celebrate. But the thing that I think they know, too, is we work hard, we play hard. But this team, guys, we've been through a lot. So we're 14-1 this year, but the last couple of years we've had some pretty tough adversity. And I think they're starting to understand what it looks like to work really hard for something and to start to see results. And it's not always overnight. And if our kids can learn that value in life, it's great to work hard. The results may not always be what you want, but then you become a hard worker. You become a champion. That's just who you are. Then, we're going somewhere with this program.
There is no doubt. Florida, 1 o'clock on Sunday. You can hear it on 94.9 The Fan with our man Jake Lyman. Coach, pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck on Sunday, and we'll talk again soon.
Always, guys. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me on this morning.
Happy New Year to you as well. Coach Shea Ralph, Vanderbilt Commodores, joining us here on the program. And again, Sunday at Memorial Gym. That is the $1 game, so you can get in for $1 at Memorial Gym. There is no excuse. Go out and support the Commodores because they're off to a fantastic start at 14-1. That was fun. I love a coach that wants to celebrate the successes of their team
and doesn't shy away from competition. I mean, that's to me, that's what makes a great coach. It's like, bring me the number ones, the number twos, and let's fight with them, let's compete with them, and that's what you want out of your coach. We're like, well, maybe we'll get out there and compete. No, man, we want to bring it. Bring the 40 minutes and the 4 quarters and just go at it.
Yeah, 100%. So we will definitely be talking to her more down the road as they continue their season. Coming up next, we'll put a bow on this week, plus our favorite, America's favorite, celebrity birthdays. But right now, you want to go to the Preds game on Tuesday?
Yes.
I got a 4-pack of tickets to see the Predators take on the Anaheim Ducks January 9th. That's Tuesday at Bridgestone Arena. Caller number 5 at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You can win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Preds and the Ducks on Tuesday at Bridgestone Arena. It's the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. It's in Big Joe, presented by Regal Realty Group, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Really appreciate Coach Shay Ralph for joining us. That was a lot of fun. Love the personality. You can tell she's having a lot of fun coaching that team right now. The Vanderbilt men's team will play tomorrow at home at Memorial Gym against Alabama. Tip-off at 2:30, pregame at 2. Coverage also available on the 102.5 The Game app, so you can hear that starting at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
You sounded like Bill King on that.
How did I?
When you said tomorrow. Tomorrow.
College football.
I love you, Bill King.
A legend. An absolute legend. And a big one coming up Monday night. We'll obviously give our final predictions on Monday because we'll be on the air before then. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fun football game.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that these are two teams that, we know about, but we don't know a lot about because, we were so focused on the SEC and what happened around here. But, they're there for a reason. They are the two best teams in college football, and they'll play that way out on Monday night. And it'll be fun because the unknown of how Penix is going to do against that great Michigan defense and how can Washington stop that Michigan offense. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go involved in this game Monday night, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Indeed, it will. What do you think happens at Nissan Stadium on on Sunday?
I think they win. I think they cheer loud for Derrick Henry, and I think the Titans go. Look, the Titans have what 7 one-score losses this year, and I think the Jags will come in here, will keep in their eye to the scoreboard about what's going on between the Texans and the Colts, and Titans go out and play football. And then I've heard some like, well, they're going to lose a couple draft spots. Who cares, man? Win the game. Stop that nonsense.
Yep, I agree. I mean, go out there and just do whatever. I don't want to hear this or see this mentality of Cancun on 3. I mean, there's going to be some guys that have the golf clubs in the trunk and ready to go and, all that. But I think they want to go out there and just, send some of these guys off feeling good and then see what happens from there. Monday's going to be interesting, though.
It will be. Very interesting.
All right, with that, let's get to celebrity birthdays.
Here we go. I love this. Dr. Crane, you ready? Back there, you're busy.
No, I am ready.
Okay.
In my schedule, I make sure I allot some time for this.
Okay.
It's just one thing I do every other day. Sometimes.
Okay. Well, you're always busy. All right, here we go. First birthday today. Quite possibly, I think, the greatest actor of our generation, Robert Duvall. How old is Robert Duvall today?
Oh, that's a good one. Been in so many different things. Yeah, he's probably up there.
He was
82.
Okay.
87.
93.
Wow.
He was.
Boo
Radley.
My favorite movie that he's in.
Days of Thunder.
That's right.
I got to go Godfather. He was.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's
amazing. He's also Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yep.
All right, Diane Keaton. Speaking of The Godfather, she was also in The Godfather.
She sure was. Diane Keaton. 68.
74.
78.
Wow.
Dr. Crane, you should get that, man.
I know. Hey, that's Michael's
family.
wife. I know. I should.
That's right. I tweeted out earlier today. One of my best friends in the world, Isaac from the Love Boat, Ted Lange. I got that great picture with him years ago. Ted Lange, Isaac from the Love Boat.
72.
Oh, he was confident on that one. I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go 75.
76. Dr. Crane, not going to be swayed. Well done. Oh, one of the Clancy Brown. He was the prison guard in Shawshank. He's also the voice of Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. He was also in a great movie with Sean Penn called Bad Boys. Clancy Brown. He's a great actor.
Okay, I'm trying to. So I'm going to say 63.
71.
65. He was so good in Shawshank.
I love Shawshank.
Oh, so good. Bradley Cooper. Crab cakes and football.
Bradley Cooper is 47.
53.
49. He was so good in Wedding Crashers. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Actress January Jones. She was in Mad Men and a few other things. January Jones.
Uh,
And her birthday's in January.
Maybe that's why her name's January.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
38.
Oh man, I'm gonna go 42.
46. All right. Former talk show host Charlie Rose.
Like, and if oh no, okay, all right. I know who you're talking about. 81.
77.
82. Chasers up 3-1. This could be a good weekend for Chase heading into this. Let's see here. Who else we got here? People we've never heard of. Oh, Marilyn Manson. How old is he today?
I'm gonna say he's like 55.
64.
55 exactly. Chase is up 4-1. Well done, Chase.
Thank you.
You're killing it right now. Actress Pamela Sue Martin. She was in Dynasty and a few other nighttime soap opera dramas. Pamela Sue Martin, but mostly known for Dynasty.
80.
84.
71. And with that, we're done. That's it. Nobody else I've ever heard of in my life.
No.
No
That's
cooks
all right.
on the list. Nobody, out of the ordinary.
No, a few that have passed away on this day. Walter Mondale, Chuck Knoll, but they're no longer with us.
You were wrong about Walter Mondale, weren't you?
1984, I thought he would win. And then that's the joke. People don't get that joke, but I love that joke. Because he in the presidential race in 1984, Walter Mondale won one state. Hell, I could win a state, right? He won his home state of Minnesota, and Ronald Reagan won the 49 other states. So I always say, I was confident he was going to win. That's the last time I was wrong. So good times like that. Yep.
Good times indeed. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend watching football. A lot of teams trying to make it into the playoffs with the NFL, and one more college game left. It's on Monday. It hurts my heart a little bit, but we go through it every year.
We sure do. Hey, as we leave you every morning, to our guys out there, listen, let you know, I know it's a tough time. It's January. It can be dark and depressing out there. But listen, man, know that you are loved. Please call 988 on your cell phone. If you need to talk to somebody, please reach out and talk to somebody. You can talk to Chase, myself, Dr. Crane. It doesn't matter. We're here for you all the time. But to let you know that God has you for a purpose on this planet. You are irreplaceable. And we want you to know that you are tremendously loved.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I echo that sentiment and love that we do this every day. Coming up next, Caroline, Willie, and D. Mays. They'll get you set for a great football weekend. Also talk some Preds as well. We'll be back at it Monday at 9. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.